Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and welcome to the new year. This is going to be a different year for me. We'll talk about that. We just came back from our sourcing trip.
And hanging out with mom and dad.
Yep. And it's Sunday, so we're just making this video to get ahead. And then the real work starts tomorrow, right?
It should go out tonight.
Yeah, it should.
It's only going to be one what sold video for this week, though. For that week, because it was, slow week.
Terrible. Y'all, we know I turned off promotions. So I'm getting spanked for that. I downgraded my store. I'm getting spanked for that. I'm not listing like I had previously. Yeah, my sales are deplorable. So this video is going to be for the whole week of December 22nd through the 28th. We left Saturday to go to Missouri. So
the 27th.
Yeah, so, most of this is while we were still home. But yeah, my sales have plummeted. It's okay because my mantra for this year is
work less, play more.
Work less, play more. Lots of projects I've got planned. And when I say I have planned projects, it's I plan, he has to execute. So I want to garden again this year. I want to do flower beds. I want to do raised beds for my garden, plus part of the garden.
And she wants to cook more too, which I'm going to really like, so I could focus my efforts on work. Yeah,
we started a diet. We'll see how long we go, but we've started a new diet. Just getting rid of the. I watched some guy today. He called it, crap. Was the diet? Get rid of the carbohydrates and bad food. Get rid of the rancid oils, which y'all know I've been doing that anyway. Get rid of the artificial foods that are on our shelf, the stuff that's just full of chemicals. And I've already forgotten what the P stood for.
Processed food, maybe.
Yes, it was processed food. So yeah, that's us. So for 2 days now, we've been home 2 days. We've done well.
First 2 days are good. We made chicken salad. Rebel wanted to go to Aldi and buy chicken salad because she likes it.
Salad.
And I said, no, we'll go home and make chicken salad. And I even made the mayonnaise to go with it. And that actually turned out pretty good.
It was very good. And then just lots more meat, fruit, veggies, dairy, egg. And stay away from as much processed stuff. Are we going to totally eliminate them? No, because you need, like today, I put a little balsamic vinaigrette on my salad because it was just going to be a salad otherwise.
I had wheat thins with my chicken salad instead of a bread, but she dipped it with celery, and I
love celery.
I'm not that dedicated yet.
And then somebody ran to Johnson City yesterday to go with Janiyah to look at the sewing machine place to schedule her class that she needs to do. But I started a workout, and I am sore today.
Janiyah and I went and ate at Freddy's Steak Burgers, and I sent Rebel a picture of Janiyah there with my Freddy's cup, but then she said I cheated. But I sent her a picture of what I had, which was a glass of water and the burger with just
no patty, no
bread, no fries, none of that stuff. So yeah. It was just the burger and bacon and cheese and onions and pickles. It was actually pretty good.
So that's us. That's us. We're documenting this so that, when we start failing, somebody can go in the comments and say, how's that diet going for you?
Please do.
How's that regular gym schedule going for you? Yeah, we need it.
I watched a video, just saw it this morning. It was a short on YouTube, and the guy was talking about we get dopamine hits from stuff. You can get dopamine hits from, sugary foods and from arguing online or whatever it is you get your dopamine hits from. He said we need to train ourselves to get dopamine hits from the right things. So today we need to look back at yesterday and see what we accomplished and get the dopamine hit from that. So that means today I need to be doing something that tomorrow will make me happy that I did today.
Yep.
And eating better is one of those.
Yes.
Working out. We don't usually work out on the weekends too much because the gym's full, unless we do something here, like go for a walk or something. Or Rebel did one while I was eating a steak burger.
Yep. So Oh, that is us in a nutshell for this year. Work for me, work less, play more. He's going to be building his stores and,
Cooking less and working more.
yes, doing my projects. All right, so let me go ahead and share with you the sales that I'm going to share with you. And you're going to understand why we have the title on the video that we do, because Etsy killed it. Etsy has been my saving grace in all of this. I am so glad that I went back and stuck with it, and I've been adding new items regularly, and it's paying off. It's paying off. So let me show you what sold on Etsy. First thing that sold, Lincoln Logs. Y'all, these have been listed forever on eBay, and they sold on Etsy soon after. I wish there was a date on here where I could see when I listed them on Etsy. But these were an incomplete set of the Redwood Junction set, which I do think is harder to find. But it had the train, and it had a very worn booklet. So I think that was its saving grace. They sold for $44.95. And then I sold another one. I had just cross-listed this one, and it wasn't even to the same buyer. It wasn't the same day. But I sold these Lincoln Logs Gold Mine Express lot. Funny thing is that large red piece that you see in the photo, I picked that up years ago at the bins. It was like the lid to the cardboard container of this set. And then I found all of these other pieces to that exact set. So I took that listing down, added it to this one. It had lots of figures. Those are always very popular. Had the tracks. This set sold for $89.95. And then this was a tiny little Dakin monkey plush from 1986, sold for $17.95. I've done well with Dakin on Etsy. And then I just think I shared this recently in a haul. So, I mean, I've only done a couple of hauls since, the end of the year. This was a John Lennon collaboration with Carter's cute blanket. Anytime I've seen there's plush, I think there's baby clothes, there's blankets, there's just all of that stuff in that collab. And this blanket sold for $44.95. Thai Classic. I do well on Etsy with the Thai Classics, the Thai Buddies. This was Jack's, the puppy dog plush from 2006. Sold for $13.45. Disney Applause 101 Dalmatian dog plush, $35.95. I just cross-listed that. This is Tyco Playtime Baby Dino. I know there's a cat and a dog, but I didn't realize there was a dinosaur till I found this one. When you turn them on, their arms like move. This one sold for $22.45. Y'all, look at this. Russ Love Pets. This was a brown dog plush, 4 inches tall, sold for $80.95 on Etsy. Hallmark Jingles beige puppy dog plush, sold for $44.95. Russ Home Buddies. I've talked about them a few times in videos. I think I have the little mouse up here. This is like my board of things I like to find. Yes, a lot of it's Fisher Price, but I do have a Home Buddies over there somewhere. This was 3 rabbits that I found at the same time, I think at the bins. They were just slightly different colored, so I just went ahead and made a lot. Sold for $44.95. Russ Vintage Winnie the Pooh Kanga plush, sold for $22.45. Russ Ganga Monkey plush. I pick up all Gangas. Some are beige, tan looking. Some are small, some are larger. This one had a sign that said, I love you on it. Sold for $22.45. Aurora Brown Horse plush, 25-inch tall, sold for $44.95. And last but not least were these McDonald's Furbies. Lot of 6 sold for $13.45. All right, and then on eBay, y'all, if you see all the little tabs open, I don't know if you guys can see them. There ain't a whole lot to share with you for an entire week. Made a lot of low dollar sales, made a lot of like $8 sales because I've got all of that stuff marked down trying to get it gone. But this I picked up at a thrift store in Knoxville. I want to say I bought 6 or 7 of these. They were like $7 or $8 each, so I paid up a little bit for them. I just couldn't believe I was finding new in the package games or toys from 1987 just hanging in this thrift store. This was a Tomy Starcades mini mouth game, sold for $49.95. Walmart Purple Dinosaur plush. I actually have 2 of those, so that's why it doesn't say sold on there. The first one sold for $8.96. I'm telling you, I've made a bunch of those sales. Lee Relaxed Fit jeans. I'm slowly but surely getting all the clothes put over into Robert's store. This pair of jeans sold for $10.50. Pretty much what's left in my store are old inventory, because I started with the most recent stuff that I had listed and just moved them over. That's been wonderful having List Perfectly to do that for me. You know, I just keep his store in a different server. We use Brave, and that way I can just go over and, you know, copy it, end it in my store, copy the title, put it in List Perfectly, and then cross-list it to his store. Easy peasy. Interper. I don't find this brand very often, but these corduroy plush, they take a while. That's why I ended up ending. I think I had found one of these. Yeah, I found the monkey recently, so I ended the elephants listing, redo a few pictures, put them together in a lot, and it finally sold. $17.95. Will I pick them up again? Probably. Probably. I like the vintage stuff, especially when I'm at the bins. And, you know, I'm saving them from the next pit stop, which is more than likely the landfill. Rodney Reindeer. I sold a bunch during fourth quarter. This one is from 1986. It is Ramona, and she sold for $17.95. This was an old listing, so when I got a $25 offer for this Cutie Pie Blue Cow Lovey, sold. Just picked these up, I think the last trip to the bins. Oh, actually in Asheville, the first time we went back to Asheville. Come to find out, it's missing like a little dog. It's missing one of the figures' hat, and they were supposed to all be sitting in a canoe. But these sold very quickly. Let me go look real quick. No, I had just listed them. Yeah, I listed them December 7th, and they sold probably around the 22nd, 23rd. So quick turnaround. Walmart chicken plush. This one sold for $13. I don't find chickens in any brand very often. Burger King Super Soaker lot. Must have been a bins pickup, but it's odd to find, you know, I have a whole set of kids meal toys. These ended up selling for $13. Precious Moments. You know, I love them, but I need to start not picking them up. For the most part, I did pick one up this past trip. It's one of the larger plush. There is a couple of the larger plush that sell for a lot, and I didn't take the time, and now I'm not remembering exactly which one I found, but I will pick up the older, bigger ones, but not these little ones anymore, even though they're cute. This one sold for $8.06. Jeff Dunham Ahmed plush. This sat in a tote forever. It got buried in my basement, and when I finally drug everything over here, I realized I had never listed it. Tested and worked. Have a video showing it. It's been listed a little while, probably the beginning of the year, And when I went into comps, you know, the $29 was a fair offer, so I just make it gone, especially as pitiful as my sales have been. Aurora Baby, my first Bubby? Or is that supposed to be Bubby or Buddy? I'm not seeing it on here. Oh, it does have it here. Yeah, I'm prone to do stuff like that. This one was from 2018, $22.46. If you're a plush seller or you just sell some plush, make sure you put the date. If you know the date, put it in your title. If you ever decide that you're going to cross list to Etsy, it's just a very quick way to know what should go on Etsy and what isn't. Wherever Super Shooter electric cookie maker. This was another one. The box was in awful condition. It was missing one disc, but it did work. I showed video of it. And it was listed again, probably the end of last year, 2024. But it ended up selling at my full price, $79.95. I'm going to move away from a lot of the small appliance stuff. I don't enjoy listing them anymore. And a lot of times they need cleaning that I don't want to invest the time in. Kelly Toy Rabbit Plush sold for $8.06. I told you I sold a lot of stuff at $8. Now, this was something that I picked up for Whatnot. I think I ran it a couple times. Never did get a bid. Listed it on eBay. Sold almost immediately. This is Disney Hercules Pegasus from Just Play. And it sold for $8.96. Haba. I like Haba. I remember picking this up actually at the Nashville bins. And I stood there waiting on more bins to come out and made sure I had all the pieces. And it sold for $13.45. It's just really nice quality toys. How to Train Your Dragon figure from 2018. I don't find them very often, but the last couple of ones that I've had just took forever to sell. So, you know, it'll be something that if I find them, I'm going to try to make sure I remember to check them. Check the sold comps, check the sell-through rate, see if they are worth picking up. Because, you know, smalls are one of those things that just seem to accumulate for me. And then I'll get in the mood and I'll spend a week or two working on them. But they are not as easy to list and do searches for, you know, the comps as plush is. Capsula 200 Motorized Science. I'm pretty sure this was also a bins pickup. I want to say I had the box, but it was in such terrible shape I didn't include it. Just made it easier to pack. And this ended up selling for $22.45. Kurt Adler White Duck Plush. You know, it sat in my unlisted bin for a while. And I thought, you know, even though it's supposed to make sounds and it's not, you know, somebody who collects these white ducks may want to go ahead and pick it up. And it sold $8.96. Busilla ColorPoint Paint Christmas Tree Skirt sold for $13.46. KitchenAid Food Grinder Attachment sold for $9.95. Bright Starts Taggies Lovey. Just make sure if you're using the word Taggies that it is branded Taggies. You can see it right here in this photo. Just right there. Otherwise, you might have issues. A lot of people try to put taggies on anything that has those little tags coming off, the little ribbon tags. Use ribbon tags or something like that. Sold $8.96. SKM Enterprises. This one was a new brand for me, I think, this year. And I've sold several. And I think one of them was big bucks. But this was a yellow rabbit. It was from Kmart. And it sold for $35.95. Bass Pro Shop Wildlife Artists Baby Deer sold for $8.96. Jellycat, I just picked this up at the bins in Asheville. Y'all, it had a lot of wear. And, you know, I could have probably listed, I want to say $25 or so. I listed it a little bit less and took a $14 offer, and it sold very quickly for me. All right, Heartline Snuggables Cuddles Bear Plush. This was from that private pick estate sale that we went to a couple of years ago. I still have some stuff from that, and it ended up selling for $11. A lot of them are coming up on the timeline where they're going to get dropped probably to $9.95 this next year. Sesame Street Baby Doll Diapers. Found a set of 2 of them in the bins, sold for $8.96. Hallmark Black and White Dog Plush. I don't pick up a whole lot of Hallmark anymore, but it was obviously vintage and nice condition and a dog. Those were its like factors that made me want to go ahead and pick it up. And it sold for $10. Wish Pets Maxwell the horse. He was an advertising plush for Knott's Berry Farm, and it sold for $26.95. Mega Blocks, little Cinderella with her horse, sold by themselves for $10. I was trying to wait to find something else to go with it, but it was one of those days I was just pulling stuff out of my smalls and listed it, and it sold in about 2 months. All right, Disney Winnie the Pooh plush backpack, $8.96. Babies R Us Blue Dog plush from 2013, $13.45. Walgreens, I bought a bunch of Walgreens. If I look at a tag and it says Walgreens plush and it's in good condition, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up, just because you never know that it became one of those plush that went viral, or, you know, didn't sell a whole lot and this mama's looking for one. And she finds mine on eBay. It sold for $11.66.
So what you're saying is they have a lower supply.
They do. Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, any of those just drugstore type brands. Even the Dollar General and Family Dollar, like Lovey's, I find them on, I think Swigglers might be, Swiggles. They tend to do well for me. Funny thing is, I sold this and I didn't pick up another one because I hadn't sold this one yet. And it's been listed a while. And now, you know, maybe I should have picked up the other one. But this was a Gemini Precision Checkered Kaleidoscope. Sold for $16.16. I'm going to turn this off real quick, because I thought it was a cute idea to take pictures of the inside with my camera. And look, you can see they're able to see what it's going to look like on the inside. I just thought that that was pretty neat. And then last but not least, from my store was this IKEA Minin Hund Tan Dog Plush. Sold for $26.95. All right, and then Robert's store. Didn't sell a whole lot, but, you know, he had some high dollar, a couple of high dollars, I think. This was Wrangler men's jeans, sold for $13.21. We don't pick up a whole lot of Wranglers anymore unless they're like George Strait, Q Babies.
Really nice looking vintage ones I'll pick up.
Yeah. Old Navy women's jeans. These were patched and everything, sold for $12.
I picked up a pair of patched jeans while we were at the bins last week, and they were a brand that I normally wouldn't pick up. But I checked, you know, they're all patchwork, you know, which can increase the demand for them. And when I looked it up, it was still like 20 to 1. It was something like Universal Thread or one of those brands that, you know, we don't pick up because of what it is, but because they were patchwork, I looked at it like Carpenter jeans. If I find Carpenter jeans in Faded Glory, which we don't pick up, that brand, I'll check it to see how they're selling, because that Carpenter jean kind of thing actually tends to make them more desired. So they usually get picked up.
BKE Derrick straight leg jeans sold for $33.01. Love that brand. Torrid premium jeggings sold for $24.01. Riders by Lee women's jeans, $15.01. I think the saving grace for the two of these, I think both of them were long or tall. That seems to do pretty good for us also. What were you going to say?
I'm only pretty much picking up Lee if they're vintage, which seems to do better for us.
Well, you might want to keep in mind if you see an L or a T next to the size, you might want to consider them, because here's two of them. Chico's Platinum women's jeans. Won't be picking these up anymore. $9, even though they were a long. And then his best sell were these Todd Snyder men's jeans with selvage, button fly, had all the things, and they sold for $60. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We are going to try to get our first haul video out shortly, also from this past trip. I'm going to start trying to do, maybe one a week, that type of thing.
And those will be on the Picker channel.
Yeah, I think we're going to move them to the Picker channel, or this channel will be just my solds. And like my brand videos, any educational type videos that I might have to put out. And then we're going to do the picking where, even though you're not seeing us pick because they don't allow you to record there at the bins, I think we're going to move them over to the other channel shortly. All right, y'all, time to get to work. Or wait till Monday. Bye.